Rain chances are tapering off tonight, but not for the weekend. I'll pinpoint which areas have the best chance of seeing rain interrupt their outdoor plans.
Once again, our WRAL news poll shows us North Carolinians overwhelmingly support legalizing medical marijuana. Why aren't lawmakers listening? I'll show you coming up.
Then, if you check the calendar today, you know it's Friday the 13th. Now at 7, we go in depth on the origin of the unlucky day.
Right now at 7, it's been a messy Friday as we take a live look now at the radar. Rain not quite as heavy as it was earlier in the day. It's even pushed off for some areas, but some showers still linger at this hour. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. As we take a live look at North Hills, the sun setting beautifully behind the clouds there. Kind of fitting because the WRAL weather alert day just ended in the last 30 minutes. More rain chances, though, are in the forecast for your weekend. Meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking it for us, Kat.
A lot to watch, but it's nice to see the sun. We've got a lot of concerts, games happening across the area tonight. No rain in Wake County at all at the moment. We do have some rain moving through Edgecombe County that we'll keep an eye on. No lightning, though. That's good news for high school football as well. So as we move ahead this evening, about a 30% chance of rain. Once we get to 11 o'clock, that chance drops to 20%. And then we have a 30% chance for rain this weekend. So here's the setup. Francine is actually not what brought us the rain directly today. It's way out here. We're watching a new area of low pressure that's trying to come together offshore. Over the weekend, we'll watch this very closely. As of right now, the National Hurricane Center is giving it about a 40% chance of developing, and we will get an update on these odds in about 30 minutes. So Mike Mays will have that for you tonight at 10 and 11 on WRAL News. Whether or not it gets a name, we're going to be watching for impacts early next week. For the weekend, it's a 30% chance for rain, primarily in our southern counties tomorrow. I'll have a closer look at which areas are most likely to see that rain and the timing on Futurecast coming up.
I'll talk to you then. Thank you, Kat. Remember, you can take the radar with you anywhere you go and get alerts straight to your phone with the WRAL News app. Just make sure you have those notifications turned on.
And this is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center with breaking news here at 7 o'clock. We're getting some new details about a police chase that ended with a crash in Garner this afternoon. It all started around 3:30 when Raleigh police got a report of a stolen vehicle at the Food Lion on Lake Wheeler Road near Tryon Road. RPD spotted that vehicle on 401 or Fayetteville Road near Old Stage Road. They tried to stop the vehicle, but they say that the driver ran over an officer's foot. The officer's okay. A brief chase ended at the intersection of Grovemont Road and Old Stage Road. Take a look at these pictures from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Police say that car crashed into a pole. 3 suspects took off on foot. Police say they have 3 juveniles in custody right now. Wake County Sheriff still is investigating, and Garner police are investigating the crash itself.
All right, Brian, thank you. Police are searching for 2 men wanted in connection with an exchange in gunfire in the parking lot of a Rocky Mount law firm. Sky 5 flew over the large scene at the law offices of Bennett and Gully last night. Police took out warrants for 29-year-old Jashawn Cherry and 26-year-old Taquavius Hopkins. They each face multiple charges, including assault. Police say they should both be considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information is asked to call Rocky Mount Police.
Let's get you caught up now on some of the other stories that we're following for you this evening. Here are the 5 things you should know right now. Garner Magnet High School was put on code red lockdown today after a report of a gun on campus. Police say a student told officials there that another student had a weapon. When an SRO then approached that student, they ran outside and into the woods. The student was eventually taken into custody. No gun was found, and the lockdown was lifted. More social media threats prompted extra security and lockdowns at area schools today. In Cumberland County, Pine Forest High School was on lockdown because of a threat. In Orange County, extra security was in place at a school in the district there, at several schools for the same reason. And in Sampson County, separate hoax threats there prompted extra security at Roseboro Middle School and Midway High School. 2 juveniles were arrested and charged in connection with the threats to Roseboro Middle.
Police arrested a man in connection with the murder of a teenage girl in Goldsboro. Last month, officers responded to an alert from the ShotSpotter gunfire detection system of multiple rounds fired on North Ogden Avenue. When they arrived, officers found 15-year-old Amaya McPhail dead at the scene. Quamari Davis is charged with murder. He's in jail without bond. He has a court appearance on Monday. There will continue to be a few closures connected to work crews doing some finishing up work of phase 1 of the 540 project. Certain overpasses, like the one on Deer Meadow Drive, may be shut down for a day. Other work along the highway will also continue to take place even after the road opens. Rain like today's will not put a damper on the opening of the new stretch of road. That's the good news. Officials say crews will be able to open the highway to traffic on September 25th.
North Carolina will start mailing out those absentee ballots 1 week from today. The State Board of Elections says all 100 counties will mail ballots to military and overseas residents by September 20th. That's 1 day before a federal deadline to do so. All other requests will be mailed out on September 24th. The ballots were delayed, you may remember, when the state Supreme Court ruled that RFK Jr. must be removed from the ballot before absentee ballots are mailed. All this week, we have been bringing you the results of our latest WRAL News poll. One question we asked was whether medical marijuana should be legal in our state. Tonight, WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie shows you what North Carolina voters said and why lawmakers don't seem to be listening.
Using marijuana for medical reasons is already legal in 38 states. North Carolina is still not one of them, despite years of debate and overwhelming public support. Our exclusive WRAL News poll asked 771 registered voters if medical marijuana should be legal in this state. 70% said yes, 16% said no, and 14% weren't sure. That support crosses every line: age, race, income, and political affiliation, even among very conservative voters and those over 65. Corey Stahl isn't surprised. Stahl lives with Crohn's disease. She says the drugs she was given to manage it did not work well.
I'm someone who's spent my lifetime on pharmaceuticals and at one point was on over 30 pharmaceuticals.
When Stahl first tried cannabidiol, or CBD, it worked so well for her, she went into the business. Stahl owns Modern Apotheca, a hemp dispensary and cafe in North Raleigh. It sells a dizzying array of hemp products, from cookies to gummies to smokable hemp, even drinks they call pot tails. Her customers don't exactly fit the stoner stereotype.
Our leading demographic is definitely women 45 to 65 plus, honestly.
Many are seeking help with autoimmune problems, arthritis, chronic pain,
PTSD, cancer. A lot of customers that are here to get relief from the cancer chemotherapy side effects. THC is fantastic for pain relief.
Hemp and marijuana are the same plant. It's just a question of potency, Stahl says, how much THC, the psychoactive ingredient, they can contain.
That is the only difference and what keeps hemp hemp and keeps marijuana marijuana.
Supporters of medical marijuana have made that point to lawmakers over and over. For years, they've debated a bill to legalize it for a very short list of conditions, but it's stalled every year because of opposition from social conservatives.
It's just a precursor to the legalization of recreational marijuana.
Think very hard, because this is a slippery slope.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Our poll was conducted for us by Survey USA. You can see the results for this question and many others, important issues, on our website, WRAL.com.
Former President Trump will make a stop in North Carolina next week. Late this afternoon, we learned he will hold a rally in Wilmington next Saturday. He'll make remarks about the economy, jobs, and inflation. The campaign event is at Aero Center, Wilmington, and it's open to the public. Tonight, he's in Las Vegas for a rally. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, is making a stop in the Triangle next week. Senator Vance will speak at a rally in Raleigh on Wednesday. The event will be held at Union Hall downtown. It is open to the public. You can count on WRAL for all the coverage of Vance's visit. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. She visited with local businesses to talk about her plans to support them. That trip follows 2 stops in North Carolina yesterday, her first rally since Tuesday's debate. Meantime, her running mate, Governor Tim Walz, it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota today for campaign stops.
Still ahead, from Black Cats to Jason Voorhees marathons. Have you ever wondered why Friday the 13th is so unlucky, or considered so? Where it all started in the first place? Well, I decided to go in depth to find out. Hey, it's Friday. Let's have some fun. That's coming up next. And before we head to break, we'll take another live look outside. You got RDU here. The rain will taper off even more over the next couple of hours. Kat Campbell will rejoin us, though, to explain about another round coming up over the weekend. Stay with us. I love Fridays. Who doesn't love Fridays? The weekend is here. Time for family and friends, and Fridays they're just pretty great. So why do we villainize this one? This Friday the 13th, the spooky vibes, black cats, broken mirrors, Jason Voorhees marathons. Did you know that there are actually 12 Friday the 13th movies? Apparently they won't make anymore. If they make a 13th, he becomes real. That's what I heard. I read that online. We wanted to know, where did all this Friday the 13th mumbo jumbo come from? So please grab your four-leaf clovers, your horseshoes, your dream catchers, and your rabbit's feet, and let's dive in depth on Friday the 13th. There are a few different theories as to where Friday the 13th began, most of them rooted in religion. In Norse mythology, 13 is an unlucky number because of a story of a dinner party, or a middag, as they call it. It's a Norwegian term for a late afternoon meal. In this story, 12 gods are hamming it up in Valhalla, and Loki crashes the party, making him the 13th guest. Loki then convinced another god to kill his half-brother, which, I assume ruined the party. It's messy, but that's the story. And it kind of sounds familiar a little bit, doesn't it? Many think the Last Supper from the Bible is the origin behind unlucky number 13. Jesus and his 11 disciples sat down for a meal. Then number 12, Judas, showed up, betrayed him, turning him over to the chief priests. And there you have it. That's the 13, why it's unlucky. But why Friday? We can go back to the Bible for that. Friday is said to be the day Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, when Cain killed his brother Abel, when the Temple of Solomon fell, and when Noah's Ark set sail. Another theory comes from France. You fast forward about 1,000 years for this one to 1307. Members of the Knights Templar were charged with heresy. They were burned at the stake on Friday, October 13th. Unlucky may be a bit of an understatement on that one. So that's how Friday the 13th started, we think. And its legend would only grow in the 1900s. There was a novel with the same name, hugely popular in 1907. It was about a stockbroker who seeks revenge after the market crash ruins his family. Then you fast forward again to 1980, and you got the guy with the hockey mask slashing through the box office 8 times in 10 years. His name was Jason, and today is his birthday. It's not just pop culture, though. Some genuinely awful stuff has happened on Friday the 13th. In 1940, during World War II, Buckingham Palace was bombed on Friday, September 13th. In 1972, 2 different planes crashed on Friday, October 13th. One was in Russia, the other was in the Andes. And it's a story that's inspired books and movies since then. Combined, more than 200 people were killed. And in 2012, the Costa Concordia, you remember this, it sank off the coast of Italy, the largest passenger ship to ever sink. Yes, bigger than even the Titanic. What day did the Titanic sink? Well, I'm glad you asked. That was April 14th, 1912. It was a Sunday, no 13s to speak of, but still, you get the point. You can see why Friday the 13th kind of gets a bad rap, though it is mostly in the U.S. In Spain, Tuesday, the 13th, is unlucky, not Friday. In Italy, the number 17 is unlucky. If you look at hotel elevators in the U.S., we skip the 13th floor, right? Well, not overseas. In Japan, China, and South Korea, they skip the 4th floor. These things kind of vary from place to place, each with their own origin stories and weird coincidences that satisfy the superstitions. And another weird coincidence could be on the way. Let's quickly talk about a future Friday the 13th. This is Apophis. It looks like a rock, because that's exactly what it is. It's a giant space rock hurtling in our direction. It's an asteroid that will come closer to Earth than any in recorded human history, and it's about the size of the Rose Bowl. It will blitz through our atmosphere at about 10 miles a second on Friday, April 13th, 2029. It isn't going to hit us. They don't think it's going to hit us. It's going to be a near miss about 20,000 miles from the Earth's surface. That's closer than some of our satellites. But if it passes in just the right place, its orbit could shift just enough to be on a collision course with our planet sometime in the next 100 years or so. Now, that would be unlucky. Except they don't think that's going to happen either. Scientists have been watching this thing for years. They've refined the asteroid's trajectory over and over again, and they don't think that there's an impact happening anytime soon with Earth. And if Apophis did at some point take aim at our planet, NASA has a way to deflect it. In 2022, their DART mission was a success. They launched a spacecraft and crashed it on purpose into an asteroid, altering its orbit. So you got nothing to worry about. But if you're feeling nervous or superstitious, just grab that rabbit's foot. I'd like to tell you why those are lucky, but we're out of time. Happy Friday, everybody, especially my dad, Dan Sr., turned 70 today. Happy birthday, Dad. Tell me what you think about Friday the 13th and any other burning topics. Send me an email, dan@WRAL.com. Tell me what's on your mind, and we'll go in depth.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Haggerty. I hope it was filled with all of the things that are lucky and full of fortune.
And happy birthday to your daughter, Ashley. We can't leave Phoebe out.
Yes, that is so true. Yes, happy third birthday to Phoebe. Let's get talking about the weather. We've had quite a bit of rain this all day today, really, but finally it seems to be calming down.
It felt unlucky when you got up this morning. You just kind of wanted to stay in bed. The rain arrived really early today, and it was heavy in spots. Harnett County, I mean, you really saw some sizable rainfall totals. Since then, things have quieted down for us on the radar. Not any rain. No rain left in Wake County for now, but we've got this band of showers that's moving through Rocky Mount right now, Elm City. We're going to watch that because if it holds together, it could push into Raleigh a little bit later on this evening and tonight. Notice all this moisture that you have here, though. The shades of green and the grays, that's a lot of moisture that we've seen fed into North Carolina today, some from the east, and earlier we had a lot of moisture arrive from the Gulf from Francine as well. So we're going to continue to watch this development offshore. Right now it's just very broad, a cluster of a bunch of clouds, but we could see it come together in an organized system, and models are really hinting at that early next week, coming together on a more solid solution, organizing Monday into Tuesday. It brings heavy rain, some gusty winds early next week. That appears more likely. And there is a 40% chance that it becomes tropical per the National Hurricane Center. We'll get an update from them at 8 o'clock. So let's take a look at how much rain we saw earlier with the WRAL Weather Alert Day. I mean, there were some totals, 4 to 5 inches. And in Raleigh, most of us saw over 2 inches of rain. Some pretty impressive totals out there. And it all centered right around Wake County, as well as parts of Lee County up into Johnston County, and especially Harnett County. Up to the north Virginia line, you really barely saw anything, though. So as we move ahead tonight, the radar should quiet down. Anything that we have left will move from east to west overnight very slowly. Tomorrow morning, as you wake up, there could be a stray shower in our southern counties. That's why I left in the 20% chance of rain, a better chance of that toward the coast. But once we get midday into the afternoon, we're really going to watch our southern counties for some of these scattered showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder to roll through. Notice, though, we could actually see some clearing of the clouds around the triangle tomorrow afternoon. And into the evening, we'll leave in a small chance for rain in the area, but it's not likely to be as widespread as the rain we saw today. And we feel more confident in tomorrow's forecast because we were looking at just how much moisture there is available in the atmosphere in the first place. It's about half of the amount that we had out there today. So that's a good sign. May not be entirely dry during the day, but the chance you'll actually see the rain is 30% both Saturday and Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, those are going to be the days to watch with that next system. If, and a big if, it were to get a name, it likely really wouldn't change our impacts, but the next name on the list is Helene. We'll be watching that very closely for you over the weekend.
Helene, okay, thank you, Kat. Still ahead, a big home show taking over the state fairgrounds. We'll run through some other happenings in our area this weekend coming up.
The town of Selma will celebrate the grand opening of 4 new pickleball courts tomorrow.
The courts are at the Harrison Athletic Complex. The event will begin at 11 a.m. with an official ribbon cutting and a fun play tournament. Teams can sign up by visiting Selma Parks and Rec programs. No experience necessary to participate in the unofficial tournament play. All are welcome.
Kat Campbell, big pickleballer.
Big pickleballer.
Huge pickleballer.
What did you call her, a pickler?
Pickler. Big pickler.
The Fairgrounds Southern Ideal Home Show is this weekend.
It is a marketplace where you can shop for home-related products and services, see displays to help inspire your next home project. I always like that. I always need inspiration. Connect with industry experts there and enjoy presentations from renowned local and international home professionals. The show runs from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's tomorrow, and 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday at the State Fairgrounds. Tickets are $12 at the door. Yeah, go enjoy. Fayetteville's Greek Festival gets underway tomorrow. It's a two-day event. It features dancing, live traditional Greek bands, lots and lots of delicious Greek food, of course.
Greek food. There will also be vendors offering jewelry, olive oil, artwork. The festival is tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. at St. Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church on Oak Ridge Avenue.
That's going to be a really good time. Hopefully the weather holds up decently enough for everybody to enjoy themselves.
Exactly.
But, you know,
some saganaki. Yes,
look,
please.
You can eat Greek food in the rain. It's fine.
Absolutely.
No problem with that.
Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news.
We got our next newscast coming up at 10 o'clock on Fox 50. We'll see you back here on WRAL at 11. Beautiful shot of White Lake on this Friday. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.